Call of Duty 2003. The very first Call of Duty game, released in 2003, takes players back to World War II, offering an immersive experience of some of the most intense battles of the war. Unlike other games at the time, Call of Duty stood out because it told its story from multiple perspectives, giving players a chance to see the war through the eyes of soldiers from different allied nations: American, British, and Soviet. The American campaign follows Private Martin, a paratrooper in the 101st Airborne Division. His story begins with the D-Day invasion, where players take part in the chaotic Normandy landings and key missions like securing bridges and taking out German artillery. Martin's perspective captures the gritty and dangerous reality of being a frontline soldier. The British campaign shifts focus to Sergeant Evans, a member of the British Special Operations Executive. His missions are stealthier, including sabotage operations in occupied France and battles in the deserts of North Africa. Evans's campaign emphasizes the precision and strategy required in covert operations during the war. Finally, the Soviet campaign puts players in the boots of Corporal Alexei Ivanovich Voronin. This part of the story begins with the desperate defense of Stalingrad, one of the most brutal and significant battles of the war. Players experience the harrowing conditions of the Eastern Front as the Soviets push back against the invading German forces, eventually advancing toward Berlin. The original Call of Duty doesn't just focus on the action, it also highlights the camaraderie and teamwork of soldiers. Unlike many games where the player acts as a lone hero, Call of Duty emphasizes working with your squad to complete objectives. This team-based approach added a layer of realism that set it apart from other shooters at the time. The game's multiple perspectives and historical accuracy laid the foundation for the Call of Duty franchise. It captured the chaos, sacrifice, and heroism of World War II in a way that resonated with players, making it a groundbreaking title that started one of the most successful gaming franchises in history. Call of Duty 2, 2005. Call of Duty 2, released in 2005, expanded the World War II experience with larger battles, improved visuals, and 3 compelling perspectives: American, British, and Soviet soldiers. The American campaign follows Corporal Bill Taylor during the iconic D-Day invasion. Players storm Normandy beaches, secure Point du Hoc, and fend off fierce German counterattacks, showcasing the intensity of the Western Front. The British campaign focuses on Sergeant John Davis, fighting in North Africa's harsh deserts against Rommel's forces. Missions extend to Europe, with battles to liberate France and the Netherlands, highlighting the Allied advance. The Soviet campaign follows Private Vasily Kozlov during the brutal defense of Stalingrad. Players push German forces back and march toward Berlin, experiencing the unforgiving Eastern Front. With innovations like regenerating health and dynamic battlefields, Call of Duty 2 delivered a more immersive and intense war experience. It cemented the franchise's reputation for epic cinematic storytelling and large-scale battles. Call of Duty 3, 2006. Call of Duty 3, released in 2006, focuses entirely on the Normandy breakout, the Allied push to liberate France after the D-Day invasion. The game follows multiple perspectives, showcasing soldiers from the American, British, Canadian, and Polish forces as they work together to drive German forces out of France. The American campaign follows Sergeant James Doyle, who leads his squad through battles like Saint-Lô and the Falaise Pocket, highlighting the brutal combat on the Western Front. The British forces, supported by the French resistance, focus on sabotage missions and securing key territories. The Canadian campaign emphasizes large-scale armored battles, while the Polish soldiers are featured in heroic tank battles, showcasing their pivotal role in the war. With its intense focus on teamwork and a continuous storyline, Call of Duty 3 captured the chaos of war and celebrated the international efforts of the Allied forces. It was also the first game in the series to include vehicular combat, adding a new layer of immersion. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, 2007. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare marked a major shift for the franchise, moving from World War II to a modern setting. The story follows 2 main characters, Sergeant John Soap McTavish, a member of the British SAS, and Sergeant Paul Jackson, a US Marine. Together, they take on a global threat involving Russian ultranationalists and Middle Eastern insurgents. The campaign begins with a mission to capture a Russian arms dealer, but it quickly escalates as players uncover a plot to launch a nuclear attack. The story takes players through intense missions like the infamous All Gillied Up, where players sneak through Chernobyl, and Shock and Awe, where a nuclear explosion devastates the region. The narrative culminates in a high-stakes showdown, with Captain Price and Soap racing to stop the launch of nuclear missiles aimed at the US. In a tense finale, the team prevents global disaster, though not without heavy losses. With its cinematic storytelling and memorable missions, Modern Warfare redefined the series and remains one of the most iconic entries in gaming history. Call of Duty World at War 2008. Call of Duty World at War returned to the gritty brutality of World War II with a darker tone and intense storytelling. The campaign follows two perspectives: Private Miller, a US Marine fighting in the Pacific Theater, and Private Dmitry Petrenko, a Soviet soldier battling on the Eastern Front. The American campaign focuses on the bloody island-hopping battles against the Japanese, including missions like the assault on Peleliu and the iconic capture of Okinawa. Players face ambushes, kamikaze attacks, and relentless enemy forces in brutal close-quarters combat. The Soviet campaign begins during the Battle of Stalingrad and follows Dmitry's journey as the Red Army pushes westward into Berlin. Missions like the storming of the Reichstag showcase the Soviet victory and the devastating toll of the war. Known for its realistic depiction of violence and chaos, World at War also introduced the fan-favorite Zombies mode, which became a staple of the series. Its raw and emotional portrayal of WS2 left a lasting impact on players and the franchise. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2009. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 continues the story of the original Modern Warfare, delivering a high-stakes narrative of betrayal, terrorism, and global conflict. Players alternate between Sergeant Gary Roach Sanderson of Task Force 141 and Private James Ramirez of the US Army Rangers. The story begins with a shocking act of terrorism in the infamous No Russian mission, where Russian ultranationalists, led by Makarov, frame the US for an airport massacre. This sparks a full-scale war as Russia invades the United States. Task Force 141 works to uncover Makarov's plans, with missions spanning snow-covered mountains, oil rigs, and even a high-speed chase through a Brazilian favela. The campaign's tension peaks with the betrayal of General Shepard, who reveals his plan to manipulate the war for his own gain. In the explosive finale, players hunt down Shepard in the desert, with Captain Price and Soap ultimately ending his life. Modern Warfare 2 is remembered for its action-packed missions, shocking twists, and unforgettable moments, solidifying its place as a fan favorite in the series. Call of Duty Black Ops 2010. Call of Duty Black Ops introduced a gripping Cold War narrative filled with espionage, brainwashing, and conspiracies. The story centers on Alex Mason, a CIA operative who is interrogated about key events tied to a Soviet plot. As Mason recalls his missions, players relive critical moments through flashbacks. The campaign spans iconic Cold War settings, including the Bay of Pigs invasion, Vietnam, and a Soviet prison. A major part of the story involves Mason's relationship with Viktor Reznov, a Soviet soldier he meets during his escape from Vorkuta. Reznov becomes a key figure in Mason's mind, but the twist reveals Reznov's actions were a figment of Mason's imagination, a result of brainwashing by Soviet scientists. The overarching plot focuses on stopping a deadly Nova 6 chemical weapon developed by the Soviets and their allies. In the finale, Mason and his team infiltrate a Soviet ship to destroy the weapon and eliminate the threat, uncovering shocking truths about Mason's own involvement in the conspiracy. Black Ops is renowned for its psychological depth, intense action, and memorable twists, establishing it as one of the most iconic stories in the Call of Duty franchise. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2011. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 concludes the epic Modern Warfare trilogy, following the fallout of the global conflict sparked by Makarov. The story picks up immediately after the events of Modern Warfare 2, with Captain Price and Soap on the run, aided by Yuri, a former Russian ultranationalist. The campaign spans the globe, with missions in cities like New York, London, and Paris, as Task Force 141 and Delta Force fight to stop Makarov's plans for world domination. Players witness large-scale battles, including the defense of Manhattan and the liberation of European cities from chemical attacks. Yuri's backstory reveals his ties to Makarov, adding a personal layer of betrayal and redemption to the narrative. In the explosive finale, Price and Yuri track Makarov to a luxury hotel in Dubai. After a brutal confrontation, Price finally kills Makarov, ending the ultranationalists' reign of terror. Modern Warfare 3 delivers high-octane action and a satisfying conclusion to the saga, cementing Task Force 141 as legendary heroes of the franchise. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 2012. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 introduced branching storylines and a dual narrative set in two timelines, the 1980s and 2025. The game follows Alex Mason during the Cold War and his son David Mason in the near future as they battle the rise of the game's main antagonist, Raul Menendez. In the 1980s, Alex Mason works alongside Frank Woods and the CIA, focusing on covert missions to disrupt Menendez's growing power as a Nicaraguan drug lord and arms dealer. The campaign explores key events like Menendez's thirst for revenge after the death of his sister Josefina, which fuels his hatred for the United States. In 2025, David Mason, now part of SEAL Team 6, hunts Menendez, who has become the leader of the global terrorist group Cortes Die. Menendez manipulates world powers into chaos by launching cyber attacks and turning advanced technology against them. The game's outcome depends on player choices, such as sparing or killing certain characters, which directly impact the fate of Menendez, the Mason family, and the world. Black Ops 2 was revolutionary for its non-linear storytelling, offering multiple endings that made each playthrough unique. Call of Duty Ghosts 2013. Call of Duty Ghosts introduces a standalone storyline set in a near-future world devastated by a catastrophic event. The campaign follows brothers Logan and Hesh Walker, who are part of the Ghosts, an elite group of soldiers specializing in guerrilla warfare. The story centers on their fight against the Federation, a powerful South American alliance that has taken control of much of the world. The conflict begins with the Federation's use of Odin, a powerful orbital weapon that causes massive destruction across the United States. Logan and Hesh join their father, Elias, who leads the Ghosts to stop the Federation's advancements. Along the way, they face Rourke, a former ghost-turned-traitor who seeks revenge against his old team. The campaign is filled with high-stakes missions, including underwater battles, stealth infiltrations, and space combat. The story culminates in a showdown with Rourke, but the game ends on a cliffhanger as Rourke captures Logan, leaving his fate uncertain. Ghosts stood out for its dramatic storytelling and innovative gameplay, offering a fresh take on the franchise's formula despite its departure from established series lore. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare 2014. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare takes the franchise into the future, introducing advanced technology, exoskeletons, and a new level of mobility in combat. The story follows Jack Mitchell, a US Marine turned soldier for a powerful private military corporation, PMC, called Atlas, led by the charismatic yet ruthless Jonathan Irons. After losing his best friend and his arm in a mission gone wrong, Mitchell is recruited by Atlas, which provides him with advanced prosthetics and training. Initially, Atlas appears to be a force for good, solving global crises and offering technological solutions that governments cannot match. However, as Mitchell rises through the ranks, he discovers Iron's true intentions: to use Atlas' power to overthrow world governments and create a new order under his control. The campaign takes players across the globe with missions involving high-tech gadgets, exo-powered combat, and futuristic settings. In the climactic finale, Mitchell and his allies turn against Irons, bringing down Atlas in an intense battle that culminates with Irons' death. Advanced Warfare introduced a fresh narrative with political intrigue and cutting-edge technology, setting a new standard for the franchise's futuristic storytelling. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 2015. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 takes place in a dystopian future in the year 2065, where advanced robotics and cybernetic enhancements have transformed warfare. Players assume the role of a cybernetically enhanced soldier caught in a conspiracy involving rogue AI and the breakdown of global stability. The story begins with the player character, referred to simply as the player, joining a covert ops team after receiving life-saving cybernetic upgrades. As the team investigates a rogue CIA black site, they uncover the dangerous use of the direct neural interface, DNI technology, which connects soldiers' minds directly to machines. This leads to a larger mystery involving a rogue AI called Corvus, which begins corrupting human minds and spreading chaos. Throughout the campaign, players experience surreal moments as the lines between reality and memory blur due to the DNI. The missions delve into the horrors of technology gone wrong and the ethical dilemmas of merging human consciousness with machines. The game concludes with the player battling Corvus within a simulated reality, ultimately sacrificing themselves to destroy the rogue AI. Black Ops 3 is known for its cryptic storytelling, heavy focus on transhumanism, and its co-op gameplay, offering a unique experience in the Call of Duty series. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare 2016. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare takes the franchise into space, delivering a sci-fi storyline centered on interplanetary warfare. The campaign follows Captain Nick Reyes, a pilot turned commander of the UNSA Retribution, as he leads the fight against the Settlement Defense Front, SDF, a militant faction seeking to control the solar system's resources. The story begins with a surprise attack on Earth by the SDF, led by Admiral Selen Koch. The assault leaves the UNSA fleet in disarray, forcing Reyes to take command of one of the last remaining warships. Players engage in missions across the solar system, from zero-gravity combat to battles on distant planets and asteroids, blending futuristic technology with intense action. Throughout the campaign, Reyes and his crew face tough moral decisions as they fight to protect Earth. The narrative highlights themes of sacrifice, leadership, and the cost of war. In the emotional finale, Reyes sacrifices himself to destroy the SDF's superweapon, ensuring the survival of Earth. Infinite Warfare stands out for its ambitious setting and innovative gameplay, offering a fresh take on the Call of Duty formula despite its polarizing reception. Call of Duty WOT 2017. Call of Duty WOT takes the franchise back to its roots, focusing on the gritty and emotional experiences of soldiers during World War II. The campaign follows Private Ronald "Red" Daniels, a member of the U.S. 1st Infantry Division, as he and his squad fight their way through the European theater. The story begins with the harrowing D-Day invasion at Omaha Beach, capturing the chaos and brutality of the war. Players then experience pivotal moments of the Allied advance, including the liberation of Paris, the Battle of the Bulge, and the push into Germany. The campaign focuses heavily on the bonds between soldiers, with characters like Daniel's squad mate Zeusman and their tough but caring leader, Sergeant Pearson. The story explores themes of brotherhood, sacrifice, and the human cost of war as the squad faces relentless challenges and moral dilemmas. In the emotional finale, Daniels risks everything to rescue Zeusman from a German POW camp, highlighting the deep camaraderie among the soldiers. WOT delivers a grounded and personal perspective on the war, paying homage to the franchise's origins with a modern touch. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 2018. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 broke from tradition by not including a single-player campaign. Instead, the game focused on multiplayer modes, introducing specialist stories to provide narrative elements. These stories offered background on the game's specialist characters, connecting their origins and motivations. Set between the events of Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, the specialist stories explored themes of betrayal, loyalty, and advanced military technology. Each specialist's unique abilities and weapons were tied to their individual storylines, giving players a glimpse into the characters' personalities and roles in the Black Ops universe. While there was no traditional campaign, the game delivered engaging narratives through its multiplayer elements and Blackout, the franchise's first battle royale mode. Black Ops 4 redefined storytelling in the series, focusing on character-driven experiences and online gameplay. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 is a reboot of the iconic Modern Warfare series, delivering a more grounded and realistic narrative set in a world of modern conflicts. The campaign follows Captain Price and a group of international operatives as they face a global terrorist threat led by Viktor Zakhaev and rogue forces. The story begins with a stolen shipment of chemical weapons, prompting Price to join forces with the CIA and Farah Karim, the leader of the Urzikstan Liberation Force. The campaign explores themes of war, morality, and the blurred lines between right and wrong. Players take on missions ranging from stealthy infiltrations to full-scale urban battles, including the intense Clean House mission, known for its realism and tension. As the narrative unfolds, alliances are tested and the stakes grow higher. In the finale, Price and his team prevent a devastating attack, setting the stage for future conflicts. Modern Warfare 2019 reimagines the franchise's legacy, offering a gritty and emotional take on modern warfare. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War 2020. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is set in the 1980s during the height of the Cold War, acting as a direct sequel to the original Black Ops. Players assume the role of Bell, a CIA operative recruited by Russell Adler to track down a Soviet agent named Perseus, who is attempting to destabilize the global balance of power. The The campaign features a mix of stealth, espionage, and high-octane action as players travel to iconic locations like East Berlin, Vietnam, and the KGB headquarters. Along the way, the story delves into Bell's mysterious past and their connection to the operation. Through flashbacks and psychological manipulation, players piece together the truth behind Perseus's plans and Bell's own identity. The campaign introduces branching choices and multiple endings determined by the player's actions and loyalty to Adler. Depending on the choices, the game concludes with either the defeat of Perseus or a shocking betrayal. Black Ops Cold War combines classic Black Ops storytelling with new twists, offering a fresh and thrilling take on the Cold War era. Call of Duty Vanguard 2021. Call of Duty Vanguard returns to the World War II setting, focusing on the formation of Task Force 1, the first special operations team. The campaign follows an international group of soldiers, each with unique skills and backgrounds, as they work together to stop a secret Nazi project called Project Phoenix in the war's final days. The story is told through flashbacks that explore the lives of the main characters, including Arthur Kingsley, a British paratrooper, Polina Petrova, a deadly Soviet sniper, Wade Jackson, an American pilot, and Lucas Riggs, an Australian explosives expert. These missions span various fronts of the war, including the Eastern Front, North Africa, and the Pacific. The campaign culminates with the team uncovering and dismantling Project Phoenix, ensuring the remnants of the Nazi regime cannot rise again. The game highlights the diverse contributions of soldiers from around the world during World War II while delivering cinematic action and intense gameplay. Vanguard blends a character-driven narrative with large-scale battles, offering a fresh perspective on the war that shaped history. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 continues the rebooted Modern Warfare storyline, reuniting Task Force 141, including Captain Price, Soap McTavish, Ghost, and Gaz, as they face a new global threat. The campaign begins with the team targeting Iranian Quds Force leader General Gorbrani, only to uncover a larger conspiracy involving Hassan Ziani, a terrorist smuggling stolen American missiles. The missions take players across the globe, from urban combat in Amsterdam to stealth operations in Mexico, where the team works with Colonel Alejandro Vargas of the Mexican Special Forces. The narrative focuses on stopping Hassan and his connections to a dangerous cartel while unraveling a plot to use the stolen missiles to attack the United States. The campaign is filled with high-intensity moments, including explosive battles and nerve-wracking stealth sequences. In the dramatic finale, Task Force 141 eliminates Hassan and secures the missiles, but the reveal of Makarov's involvement teases greater threats to come. Modern Warfare 2 builds on its predecessor with gripping action, memorable characters, and a thrilling setup for future conflicts. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 picks up directly after the events of Modern Warfare 2, with Task Force 141 racing to stop the infamous Vladimir Makarov. As the leader of a global terror network, Makarov unleashes devastating attacks across the world, including Europe and the United States, threatening global stability. The campaign follows Captain Price, Soap McTavish, Ghost, and Gaz as they face Makarov's forces in high-stakes missions. Players experience a variety of intense operations, from urban warfare to large-scale assaults, as Task Force 141 works to dismantle Makarov's network and uncover his ultimate plans. The game also introduces open combat missions, giving players greater freedom in how they approach objectives, whether through stealth or full-scale assaults. The campaign culminates in a dramatic showdown, with Task Force 141 making sacrifices to bring down Makarov and prevent global catastrophe. Modern Warfare 3 delivers a gripping conclusion to the rebooted trilogy, blending action-packed gameplay with a focus on its iconic characters and high-stakes storytelling.